Take 3.
It's frozen again? Oh, no. Okay, so we are good to
not
go.
Frozen.
Yeah, so this is attempt number 3 to get just kicking it underway. We've had some technical problems, but I think it's Rodney's face. You know, the phone just isn't accustomed to this, whatever this is. So this is World Cup Brexit, of course. Rai is in the background there working on some news. Rai, I called it. Nobody else believed in Croatia, or very few people at least. And I said that Croatia would go through.
I just have to say that not only did she call the match itself, and she also called who would be the key player today in Mario Mandzukic. Nobody else believed
Why was he a key player today?
He scored the goal that
doesn't
put them 2-1 up.
That doesn't mean
doesn't matter.
The key player, I argue
the winning goal is what has taken them through.
Perisic was the key player. We'll get
he was.
Perisic brought it back,
was the key player.
But the man that actually put the final nail in the coffin, because if it went to penalties, I don't think Croatia would have been able to go through. And I think that goal in extra time was the key point in that game.
Well, he's the hero today, yes.
Perisic did do well, and he did bring them back within touch of the World Cup final. But I'm pretty sure if Croatia went through to penalties, it would have been a totally different ball game. That's my input for today. I have to go back again.
Okay. Yes, okay, so Mario Mandzukic scoring in extra time for Croatia. Just to note, Croatia has played more football than any other team in the World Cup so far, because this is their 3rd consecutive match in which they have gone to extra time. So in addition to the 90 minutes of regular time in both the round of 16 and the quarterfinals and the semi-final, they've also played 30 minutes by 30 minutes by 30 minutes.
Which is an additional game.
Basically an additional game. Thank God this one did not have to go to a penalty shootout. As Rai said, it may have been a different ending for them, but they are through to their very first World Cup title. Now just to let people know... Final.
Well, we know who Chando is rooting for.
Okay, so England actually had a much better start than the game would let on. They took the lead very early on within the first 5 minutes, courtesy a fantastic free kick from Kieran Trippier. Now, the joke is, you know, they had bend it like Beckham a few years ago. Now it's kick it like Kieran, because Kieran Trippier bent that, dipped, went up over the wall, dipped in. Very little Subasic could do to stop it. Fantastic way to take the lead.
It was a really, really, really well executed goal. But you see, the thing is, world-class players like that, and especially in a forum like a World Cup, you would have them practicing this over and over and over. When it actually comes off, on the field is one thing, on the training ground is one thing, but on the field, when it comes off, as you can see, it meant the world to them.
Because you're coming up against players who are actively trying to stop your goals, so it makes it all the more impressive. And Trippier, fairly new to the England squad, he was called up fairly recently as well. We were talking today about the fact that so many of the English players are playing in their very first World Cup, and I think that sort of, you know, youthful optimism is what basically helped move the team along so far. Of course, there was the hashtag, it's coming home. Well, it's not coming home. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Well, they do have the 3rd place playoff against Belgium now to come. That's on Saturday.
Well, I saw England players crying, literally crying after the game. I'm not too sure if they were crying because they lost or if they're thinking, well, Belgium is next. I think it's because they're thinking Belgium is next.
Well, England have the fact that they've gone a lot further than the world champions. Germany went home first round. They've gone a lot further than Argentina, the famous Brazil 5-time champions. They went home early, humbled of course by Belgium. Now, Perisic, you were saying that Perisic was a key player. He was the one that drew them level in the 68th minute, I believe. A very unconventional kick. Sort of looked like he was channeling his inner Bruce Lee to a certain extent.
It was something of a karate kick.
It was close to being a foul in the area.
But you see, you would say that Mandzukic was the player. He scored the winning goal and he will get all the accolades and everything. I agree. But with Perisic, now Perisic had that goal. He had an attempt on goal that hit the inside of the post, not the outside, but the inside of the post. The same thing he did against Russia a few days ago. He was the one who backheaded the ball for Mandzukic to score. So he has a lot of insight in the game. He has a lot of foresight when it comes to passes and finishing, because if it wasn't for him backheadering that ball, you saw that pass for Mandzukic to make something of it.
Technically directly involved in both goals. He scored one and he
even
set up the second one.
Even off the ball, he was drifting wide sometimes. As I said, that shot could have buried England in 90 minutes.
So we have Anil Beam just looking through our glass.
Anil Beam was giving an analysis some days ago.
There he is.
Albin, between Perisic and Subasic, who do you think scored the better goal?
Debashish Gupta?
Yeah, between Debashish and Perisic, who do you think was the better player today?
I didn't look at any football today, brother. My team went home early in the game.
Beam is a German
I'm a
supporter.
German supporter. I didn't look at football this year.
You can watch it to enjoy the fantastic football today's game. Okay, so let's start off with England's performance. England, even though stat-wise, Croatia would have supposed to have, I guess, the better of the first half because technically they had more possession, technically they had like a fraction more shots. But England definitely looked more threatening. I think Sterling in particular looked pretty dangerous down the side. I think he maybe was trying to make up for the fact that he's been criticized for the game before. A lot of criticism for missed chances.
And the game before.
Yeah, so he's a young player coming for a lot of criticism in the World Cup, and he seemed to be trying to send a message to all those naysayers. He was definitely a player that seemed threatening when he was on the ball, moving pretty quickly, slicing through the defense. But the second half, Croatia, I don't know what was said in the dressing room, but they came out a different side. They were attacking a lot more and causing a bit more problems for England, and of course it's the continued pressure that led to their first goal.
Well, I was telling Sarah as well during the game, not that we needed this game to see that, but Croatia is not really a sleeping giant, but it's one of those teams that you on first hearing the name Croatia, you would think, okay, yeah, decent side, you don't really expect them to reach too far. But one thing I love about football, like World Cup football and international football as it's called, the fact that you see different players from all over the world, all different leagues coming together to play for their country. And then you really realize, wow, I didn't know this man plays for this country. But so it happened with Croatia. Now everybody kind of overlooked them because, again, it's not a Brazil or Argentina or Germany. But when you look at Croatia, they have quality right through. Subasic is a very good goalkeeper. Yeah. Mandzukic is at front. They have Perisic. Rebic, who scored that amazing goal against Argentina. Of course, Luka Modric, Lovren in the defense. So they have a really good side, and I did not expect a walk in the park for England today.
But I think Lovren had a questionable first half. He was very physical in his play. At a point in time, I thought he would have possibly gotten 2 yellows in a row. Nothing serious enough to warrant a straight red card, but he was definitely in the zone for a yellow eventually.
I think he
was lucky to get away with it.
He probably came in with an agenda today to play hardball.
He of course plays for Liverpool in England, and he's had some not so flattering encounters with players like Harry Kane and so on.
He used to play with Southampton before, so again, he's a player who came out there to really thou shalt not pass kind of motto today.
Yeah, well,
so,
at the same time, yeah, you can't be
well,
physical with players.
We can sit and judge now, but but going into that game, we don't know what's going on in their minds. This is a place in the World Cup final they're talking about. He's a world-class player. Again, you may not think about that when you think about Croatia, but Croatia has world-class players. Luka Modric is one of the best. He may not have been the best player today, but that's where Perisic came in. I was so amazed with his play today.
What about Ivan Rakitic? Did you think he played up to his potential today? I don't
not
think...
up to his potential, but we can't really judge like that because in games like this, for example, England has quality throughout the ranks. They might not have experience, but they have quality, at least on a club level. And playing together, you see, they're kind of getting it together. They reach a semi-final, that says something. But remember, for example, you're going to play Croatia. If you're in England's shoes and you're going to play Croatia, you study each player, you study formations. That's one of the reasons why Belgium probably changed their formation yesterday, which I was totally not pleased with, as you would know. But it's about not being predictable. So Rakitic may have been closed down, not allowed space. Same goes for Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi in games like this. So you can't really judge them too much on this game and say, well, he didn't really shine in today's game, something is wrong, because he may not have gotten space to do so, and opportunities because England would have closed him down. But Perisic, for some reason or the other, played out of his boots today. He was just, he's my man of the match.
Okay,
definitely.
So this final then is France versus Croatia. Now, I've heard people say that Croatia would be an easier team for France to beat as opposed to England. So a lot of people seem to be thinking that this World Cup title is France's to lose as opposed to Croatia's to win. So what do you think about that?
I have to agree with them to a point. However, I wouldn't just eliminate Croatia's chances of winning. Now, France versus Croatia is not, with all due respect to smaller teams, not like France versus Peru or France versus Saudi. Croatia has a lot of talent. They disposed of Argentina 3-0. Now, Argentina was not really at their best, far from their best. But they played really well. Apart from the fact that Croatia had to go through a lot of extra time, 2 penalty shootouts as well. Croatia has quality. However, if France, which has a winning mentality, they have winners on their team, players who've played in World Cups before, including your favorite Giroud.
Olivier Giroud. Yes, I'm
she likes a man whose name is Olivia. So you have a team in France that have a winning mentality. A coach who's won the World Cup in '98. Right? He's won the World Cup with France in '98. Deschamps.
Right, Deschamps.
Right? Didier Deschamps is their coach. Right? He was with Zidane and company when
he was captain of the squad.
Yes,
when
he was.
They won.
So he won. I expect, now this is from a pen on paper perspective, looking at what we have in front of us, I expect France to win. I don't want France to win. Actually, I don't really support either team, but as a lover of this sport, I would just want to see a good game. I want to see a good World Cup final. Maybe another man headbutting another man, like, I'm just joking. But seriously.
Or maybe a De Jong karate kicking somebody in the chest. That was the 2010 World Cup final between Spain and Holland, by the way. Xabi Alonso probably scarred for life from that game.
Probably.
Yeah.
But seriously, I want to see a good game of football. We have world-class players on both sides. But looking at it from a perspective where I am, I think France will win if they come out on the day, and they will. I'm sorry to put it like that because France beat both my teams, Argentina and Belgium.
So let me ask you something now. You've been following all the games, and as much as I would like Olivier Giroud as a player, you've been saying that he may be the one weakness in the starting lineup. He's been starting, but he's not the quickest on the team, and he's failing to convert good chances. There's talented, fantastic build-up, only for, on a couple of occasions, for Giroud to miss the opportunity. So do you think he's their weak link?
I think that Giroud is class. He is world class. But he's not a, how should I put it? He's not the kind of player to convert 9 out of 10 chances. On his day, I've seen him play club football with Arsenal and even more recently with Chelsea. Right. He's done pretty well. He's a world-class finisher, yes. But I don't know if he's out of form or what it is.
You were saying that he slows down the game to a
He does. He doesn't have pace. But then again, you have players who provide pace. Not everything in the game is about pace. You have Mbappe, you have Griezmann with his short self has some pace with him too. You have Matuidi, who's even the defenders. Now, Giroud may be a weakness, but who knows? He may show up on final day.
So, and speaking of Mbappe, he is known for his pace. Do you think Croatia has anybody to cope with that pace in the
Croatia, no, they don't.
That could be problematic.
Full stop, no, they don't.
So I guess the best tactic for them would be to try to hold the ball as much as possible instead of allowing France time on it.
Again, going back to that, I think that France will absorb pressure. Sorry, Croatia will absorb pressure. I wouldn't be surprised if Croatia come out at their best and it's 0-0 at halftime. Or it's football. Anything can happen. They may even be in the lead. Who knows? But I wouldn't be surprised if 0-0 at halftime, but second half it's going to be a totally different game to first half. And I think if Croatia cracks under pressure, like Argentina did, with Croatia, because Argentina as well, it's almost the same kind of scenario, except that France is real quality. I think that second half is going to be totally different. Deschamps is a guy who has a lot of tactics up his sleeve, the Croatian coach as well. But if Croatia absorb a scoreless first half, second half, they may crack under pressure more than likely. And I can see maybe a 2-0.
Okay, any quick thoughts on the third place playoff, Belgium versus England?
Belgium.
Because it's your team or because...
No. I'm very objective when it comes to thinking of it. I would tell you who are my favorites, I would tell you what I want, but Belgium will win. Because
well, of course, it is the much anticipated match from the group stage. Of course, Belgium and England were in the same group, but when the time came for them to face each other in the group stages, of course, both had already won their first 2 games, so this was a matter of just seeing who finished first. Both fielded bench teams. I mean, with a bronze medal up for grabs now, I don't think it's going to be 2 second teams anymore.
I don't think so, but I think that even though Belgium might be disappointed, will be disappointed not reaching the World Cup final, England is more disappointed. Because England went into the semi-final, the feeling that I got was that they went into the semi-final thinking it is a done deal, we are in the final, all we need to do is play football and beat Croatia, and it was not the case. I've seen a lot of weaknesses with England. I've seen a lot of strengths, but a lot of weaknesses with England. Harry Kane started off, as they say, started off hot like bad bull, and
well,
like
he had a couple chances off the bar too.
He did.
There was one I really don't know how he did not convert it. The angle was a bit tight, but it was basically Harry Kane's to score, and he hit it straight into the sidebar.
I don't know how England are going to go into this game. I know there's going to be a lot of disappointment, but I expect changes in that third place too, because both teams have deep benches.
Yes.
So I do expect changes. I expect Belgium to put back on Dries Mertens. I expect them to start Batshuayi. I expect them to start Carrasco.
Right.
England may or may not go with the same team. I think Sterling might get benched for that game. I just have a feeling so. It's third place, it's a bronze medal, but it's also a game where persons who may not, who didn't do well, or who didn't get a chance to do well, will get a chance. But it wouldn't be a 100% makeover. But clinical positions will be revamped. Maybe 3 or 4 players on the inside. That's what I think.
Well, England will be looking to go a bit higher than they've done in the past. Of course, they've only made it to the semi-final or higher on 3 occasions. This is the third. England, yes. They first got past the semi-final stage in 1966, which is when they won the World Cup. They got into the semi-final stage in 1990. They went on to finish 4th. So maybe a third place to boost spirits a little bit. Of course, it is a young team. It's a team that we could possibly be seeing a lot of the players in the next World Cup, possibly. We don't know who could come out of the youth system and things then, but they do have a young squad. So I think while they may be disappointed, they'll know that it's definitely not their last chance to get their hands on a World Cup trophy.
And, well, Croatia reached the semis in '98. They came third. That was with Davor Suker.
Yes, Davor Suker picked up the golden boot for most goals in that tournament. Of course, Harry Kane is still in the lead with regards to the golden boot here.
So disappointed.
He hasn't scored for the last couple of games, but he does have, of course, the hat trick dating back to the Panama game, as well as
2 goals in his first game and 1 against some team, I can't remember. But he has 3-2-1, so it's 6 goals. But I'm really disappointed because think about it. Harry Kane had 5 goals after 2 matches. Ronaldo had 4 goals after 2 matches. I was hoping that this would have been a goals aplenty kind of World Cup.
Yes.
Where we were bordering on 10 goals for the Golden Boot. In 2010, the Golden Boot was awarded for a player with 4 goals. Or 5 goals if I'm not mistaken, but I think it's 4.
Didn't you argue in the past that World Cups of late have been won by defenders?
Well,
so the games are
they
a
have
lot
been
tighter.
won by defenses coupled with attacks.
Yes.
But
there haven't been any high scoring. I mean, every World Cup has at least one high scoring game. Last World Cup, it was 7-1 in particular. There was also a 8-1 rout, I think, to Germany in the World Cup before.
Arabia in 2006.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's always the exception in terms of matches. I think the exception this time around was, of course, the 5-2 to Belgium, as well as the 6-1 to England. So maybe we're all out of those types of high-scoring matches.
Maybe,
or maybe the final could be a high-scoring match.
But with I don't think it will be. But with such a fiery start, I expected more. But the World Cup was very, very entertaining. It still is.
Unpredictable.
Two big games coming up. Here it's a bandwagon. It's nightmare.
No, I mean, okay, so let's talk about, just to end off this whole concept of the bandwagoners. Now, to me, I think if you've never watched football before and you see the beauty of football because of the World Cup, go ahead and support good football.
Nothing is wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing is wrong with that. But don't be bad talking a team that doesn't do good when you are supporting them.
Let me just build on what you're saying, right? I just get kicks on calling people bandwagoners. Nothing is wrong with that. You're supporting you like football? Yes, maybe not. You look at football and you say, well, hey, you know, as Trini say, my blood take them.
Yes.
Nothing is wrong. You could be a bandwagoner, that's fine. But what I have a problem with is bashing a team and hating on a team. That is unacceptable. Now, it doesn't have to only go with Argentina in the leagues or Brazil. I'm not a big Brazil supporter, but Brazil has depth. They have a really good side, and I support them when they're playing club football. Jesus and Firmino and all of them. Willian is a Chelsea supporter, which is
a Chelsea player.
So a Chelsea player, sorry,
Yes.
which is side of support.
He's a Chelsea supporter. Willian is a Chelsea player. Right. Just clarify. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. So the point is, I'm not a big Brazil supporter, but if Brazil is playing good football, I'll admire that. If I don't support Brazil, well, okay, I don't, whatever. But I wouldn't go and be like, ha, Brazil, fire on them.
I think it's
be
natural
like that.
too. And I mean, obviously, as a tournament as big as the World Cup, two teams are playing. You will tend to have a favorite. A lot of people right now are favoring the underdogs because I mean, it's
Nothing
so
is wrong with
inspirational
supporting
to have a
Bangladesh.
team that nobody expected to do well to be so far ahead in the tournament.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think even though France might be the favorite, a lot of people might be, backing Croatia to a certain extent.
Nothing is wrong with supporting Banwangistan. But what I'm saying is,
We need to come up with a flag for that. Maybe a white flag.
Banwangistan.
A
A
white
white
flag.
flag, yeah. White flag.
Right.
Surrender. Is that a white flag? Surrender?
We'll make up a flag for Banwagistan. We'll unveil it for the World Cup final.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just have a little problem with the hating. That is the only thing.
It is a
kills,
sport at the end of the day.
just
and
as Neymar is ruling and all of that kills the spirit of the game, I think that it really kills the spirit of the game. But nothing is wrong with being a bandwagonist. If that's what you are, yeah, you're trying to reconnect apparently. Yeah. So if you don't have a favorite team, or it's just not your thing, you don't eat, drink, and sleep football, nothing is wrong. You can bandwagon.
it's okay to enjoy World Cup football alone, even if you don't follow it throughout. I mean, football is football, and it's a lovely sport, and I'm just happy that we follow it all the time because I get so much talks if I don't play in our fantasy league. But I mean,
We need
not everybody could do it, and I mean, if you like football because
fine,
of the
it's fine.
hype of the World Cup, then that's okay, and I love that people are catching on and seeing the beauty of football at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, that's it. So what are your predictions for the weekend?
I am thinking Belgium might triumph over England, but I am hoping for Croatia win simply because, I mean, this World Cup, every World Cup they chase stars, right? So every time a team wins, they get to add a star to their uniform. France already has one, Croatia has none, so maybe they might get their first star. Wish upon a star. Fairy one.
I have two things here. One is, yes, I would like to see an underdog team per se
They'll have to redo the
triumph.
uniform to add a star.
Yeah. Well, but the other thing is, I didn't like how France played against Belgium, to be honest.
Why?
And it left a sour taste in everyone's mouth, I think.
The overly defensive game, you think?
Well, overly defensive is one, maybe that was their tactic. But even the Neymar-like antics, I didn't like it.
Yes.
And it takes away from the spirit of the game. And Mbappe is a guy I was really admiring. I was like, wow, that man has an engine somewhere because he has speed like that. France has depth. Even before the World Cup, we were talking about France. They dropped players like Payet. Payet didn't make it on the team. He's a big midfielder, as well as Benzema. Benzema couldn't make that side.
They have a lot of
couldn't
people
make that
that
side.
aren't even on the squad right now.
So my point is, on the starting 11, but on the final World Cup squad, they have so much talent. And I was like, big team, big team. But up until where Argentina lost to them, which I expected, but maybe at a wider margin, I was saying, okay, well, France is doing well, and maybe they'll start to pick up the pace. I was probably wrong about them reaching the final because I always say defenses win your World Cups, and France has been kind of leaky. Croatia may not be as leaky as France, but the last game against Belgium, I saw them, and I don't know, some of the tactics by Pogba and Mbappe I wasn't too pleased with. I don't think it's very sportsmanlike, and if they win, kudos to them, but I wouldn't be a happy person if they do.
I fully agree. I mean, it's idealistic thinking, but at the end of the day, we would like whoever lifts that treasured World Cup trophy earns it in a fair manner.
Yeah.
Fair first and foremost, but I mean, it doesn't always work like that, so we could just hope for the best at the end of the day.
I saw two articles, one talking about Eden Hazard from Belgium, who says he prefers to lose with Belgium than to win with France because of those tactics. And the other one escapes me, but it's something along those same lines. I think you saw it as well this morning. So it just goes to show how Belgium are feeling. Now, Belgium could be any other team on the day, but I just didn't like the tactics that France used. I honestly didn't. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see how it works out. So, of course, we do have another break. There are 2 days in between the match day today, which just finished, as well as the third place playoff that takes place on Saturday. So we'll have a Just Kicking episode at that point in time, and then of course Sunday, the big day, the day we've all been waiting for, the
103
World
FM
Cup
Mila.
final, as well as the 103 FM Mila. So the World Cup final is not clashing with the Mila. The World Cup final will be done by the time Mila gets started at Space Lanuba Car Park in South. So we will have a pre-show, a halftime show, and a post-show.
And a Mila.
And
a
a what?
Mila.
And a Mila to celebrate whatever happens after.
Yes.
So you can look out for that on Sunday. Myself and Ryra Comas with a little guest appearance from Rodney Lahi on Sunday.
Really?
Yes. So maybe in the meantime, have you heard about the Neymar challenge?
The Neymar challenge.
The Neymar challenge, which is I touch you and you fall down.
I need to follow.